Welcome back. There we have the fight between Footwork and Dunktown Abbey now done. What do we think from that one, Soldat? Was that the expected result when you seen the teams field?
I was pretty surprised at those three vultures. What happened last break was that I didn't have the standings on my area, so I didn't see which team was which, so I instantly presumed that both teams brought some Dominixes and a vulture, so it was like a shield Dominix team with some drone damage mods and the lows. But when I saw the standings and three vultures on one team, I was extremely surprised.
Why did that vulture take so long to go down? They seem to have real trouble. They seem to focus their DPS on the support to start with, and had real problems getting that vulture down for a long time.
I presume the vulture, well, obviously had an ancillary shield booster tank, which I presume had maybe a kinetic hardener as well as an adaptive hardener, and the other team basically just brought only guards on field. They weren't splitting up their damage types, which you basically want to do against tanky battleship or battlecruiser sized ships with powerful ancillary tank.
Why do you think Dunktown spent so much of their effort going for the support to begin with, though? Do you think that had they focused on one of those vultures to begin with, that could have they had a chance in that fight, or were they always on the back foot?
It depends on the situation. If you basically have the enemy support all over your logistics, and he thinks he can live if you kill them, then it's obviously worth it to go for the support. But I still don't think that they would have lived, won, if they had gone for the vultures, because even with three Dominixes and three sets of guards shooting it took a bloody age to die.
As Elander mentioned in the commentary there, that was quite unexpected and unusual footwork fleet comp there with the triple ventures. Is that something that you yourself have seen tested on CC? Is that a fit you would have trained for, that you personally would have been expecting to see today?
No, but I think it's an answer for the actually Sleipnir wasn't banned. Wait, that's the wrong match. Okay. This was wait, fuck. It was Footwork versus Dunktown, yeah?
Yeah, Footwork versus Dunktown, yeah.
Okay, so Sleipnir was banned, so was the Gila. So I guess it's a pretty decent alternative to a Sleipnir, because you can basically get similar damage with more range and better tracking at the range than Sleipnir, I guess. So yeah, it was just basically an alternative to a Sleipnir. Although I'm quite confused why they brought a Golem and not a Vargur.
Yeah, what was the thought process there, do you think? Why not the Vargur? I mean, it seems to be over the course of the weekend, it's been the more successful ship. What was the thought process there?
Maybe they wanted some more tank on their team, because the Golem obviously tanks more than Vargur. Or maybe they were just worried about tracking issues. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the setup they had in mind.
The vultures look very, very impressive. I mean, obviously ASB fitted. The tank just didn't seem to be able to be broken on those whatsoever. The DPS they were able to provide. The Dunktown guys just didn't seem to be particularly focusing their fire very well. They didn't seem to have the correct fit to deal with the tankiness of the footwork fit. And yeah, it just seemed to be all around better piloting and better target calling. Let's look ahead to our next match, which is Something Else versus Reputation Cartel. The bannings are in. Something Else have banned the Vargur and the Golem. Reputation Cartel have banned the Gila and the Scimitar. What are our thoughts on that one, Soldat?
Yeah, I think it will be another Marauder versus non-Marauder setup. It just matters. It's just a matter of what the non-Marauder team brings, if they can just break Marauder to win. Because what we've seen over the weekend is that to beat a Marauder team, you have to be able to break a Bastion Marauder tank, which is extremely difficult if there's any other ships on field from the Marauder team side.
Yeah, the sheer amount of DPS they're able to absorb, combined with the support on the battlefield, they're just almost impossible to deal with, right?
Yeah, what I've been thinking about, what would be a pretty funny setup is that if you brought a Kronos, maybe a Golem, and have an Executor support fleet. So you have a Marauder, aka a Kronos or a Golem mothership, and then you have smaller Executors orbiting it with drones, with rep drones assigned to the Marauder. You kill one ship, and then you just sit there and don't die.
Just sit out the 10 minutes and take the fight.
Yeah, be a faggy like some teams from last year. Just make some tinker setups that are really hard to beat, and it all comes down to alphaing one of the frigates to win.
What would be your prediction for the upcoming fight? Who do you expect to take this one down? Something else or Reputation Cartel?
I think something else might take it because from the bans, it looks like they will bring the non-marauder setup, and I hope that they beat it because, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Reputation Cartel. I thought that they were unlucky, I would suggest. I think they hadn't really prepared and expected Dunktown's Stratius fit yesterday. And obviously, they had a fairly easy second round in the losers bracket against Noir Academy, but those Reputation Cartel guys, they can fly. So I think this is the time they're going to pull it out of the bag and then show us what they're capable of.
For shizzle.
For shizzle, for sizzle. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about, we were talking in the last before the last match about people who are looking to bring teams here to the SCL to come and fight and show what they're capable of, what their friends are capable of, how good FCs those are. We've seen a very, very brave, if slightly negative performance from Noir Academy this week. Yesterday, they came in at very last notice, and although they didn't perform as well as they could, gain massive amounts of experience. Would you recommend? I mean, how much practice, how much training do you think these guys need to put in before they consider coming to something like the SCL5 Soldat?
It depends if you're a bad player or a good player.
Okay, let's presume that you've not done any tournament training before. So let's presume that you're a competent PvPer. You've got a group of players that you play with generally who you believe to be competent players, perhaps not top notch, but decent, solid PvPers who work together, know each other, they're friends, but they've not done any tournament work before. I mean, how much training do you need there before you can even consider making a step up?
You probably need maybe a couple of setup trainings, because you don't have any like solid setups that will work in a tournament setting, and then you want something to get you used to how the tournament works, because it's all very it can be really stressful, and you can get really nervous your first time because you get moved, and there's no going back. If you don't fit the right module or something, then that's it. You have to fight. You have to be there. You have to be ready at the moment you get moved, which is something a lot of people aren't used to.
Now, I'm not a PvP expert on Tranquility and certainly not on CC. But even now, whether I'm fighting in a fleet or whether I'm fighting in a small gang or in the odd occasion where I'm fighting solo, I still get very nervous. I still get the heart still goes, the adrenaline goes all through the body. I get very excited, goosebumps every time I'm engaging a pilot in PvP. Is that something that still happens for you guys who've trained and trained and trained on CC, or do you almost train to the point where it kind of dulls that adrenaline rush? Or is it always there? Is the thrill always there, or do you try and temper that out?
My first Lens tournament, it went up tenfold my first match, but it kind of goes away towards the end of the tournament. Even Alliance Tournament 11, my first match, I was kind of nervous, like your hands get really sweaty, and then you just your heart's beating after the match, even though you got a flawless victory and all that. But yeah, it goes. The more you play in a tournament setting, the less stressed you get.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, fields are landing. Sorry, the ships are landing on grid. What are we thinking about the fits there? What's our first impression? So that.
Oh my god, a triple Dominix versus this time a Paladin setup. Color me shocked.
Triple Domi versus Paladin. We're not particularly shocked here at all. What are our thoughts? Who's going to take this one down? What's our gut instinct on this one?
It depends how good the Dominic's paths are. If they play it right, they can win because the Paladin isn't as tanky as a Golem, and if they split damage types, and yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to cut right
Oh,
here and move over to the commentary team to take you through the match of Something Else versus Reputation Cartel.